we might think, well, test optional. What's the harm in not doing it? Well, there have been there's been data that's come out and suggesting that the admit rate for students who have the test versus students who don't have the test, there's a trend towards having higher admit rates for students who do submit the testing. So even though it is optional, colleges do like to see that information. And since we're talking finance here with Joe and everything, you might think about the test scores being a little bit like a credit score. When you apply for a loan, having that credit score gives someone at the bank a very easy to use metric to ensure that you would be it would make sense to take out a loan on your behalf. And so that's the similar role that the standardized test might provide. Although there are lots of other redeeming factors you could have, it just gives colleges a really nice metric. And just along those lines, it's very interesting to me that Ohio State went back to requiring tests this year. And talking to people who are in admissions at Ohio State, talking to people at Michigan, something that people at Michigan really experienced after they won the national championship is a huge increase in applications. And it was interesting, Ohio State went back to requiring this after they had that very successful run, perhaps in anticipation of something similar, big influx of applications. And so with a lot of schools, with their grading system and talking to some OSU admissions representatives, some of the schools don't even give grades nowadays. There's some places that do narrative grades where they give you an essay about how the student's doing. And so if you're an admissions officer and only have a few minutes to discuss, or to analyze if someone's ready for that college, you're just not going to have time to do this. So this is the time-saving thing. So it's no wonder that we see with a lot of these colleges like Emory, the admit rate with tests is about double what we see without the test. Colgate, similar thing. Georgia Tech, Vanderbilt, we see differing levels. But bottom line is it can definitely be helpful there if we do it. We're not in a situation where like 2020, 2021, where if you didn't do the test, people knew that. Maybe you just didn't have the opportunity. But now everyone has the opportunity to take it, especially if you're in Ohio, you'll have a free opportunity to take it during the school day. So colleges would wonder if you didn't turn it in, why is that the case? So that's kind of where we are. And in addition to just admissions, we're talking about how to pay for college. And it's great if you can get a scholarship of some kind, but I wanted to give you just a rough idea of the kind of performance that might be associated with certain types of scholarships. Okay. So there was an interesting article of someone who got into every single Ivy League school who decided to go to the University of Alabama. And the newspaper asked him, why did you want to go there? And he said, because they're paying me to go. I want to go to med school later on. So why would I want to take out hundreds of thousands in loans only to have to do that in med school as well? So he got full ride plus stipend with his GPA grades and extracurriculars. A lot of places might give you full tuition. And if you're looking at high merit, 8,000, 18,000 a year, there are schools that offer that. And you can see some of the test scores associated with that: 30, 32 on the ACT, 1360, 1390 SAT. And then some other places, if you're in the mid 20s of the ACT and the 1200s with the SAT, you might be looking at some moderate merit for those scholarships. Okay. Now, closer to home, here at Ohio State, there are different levels of scholarships associated with grades and test scores. And there's not a specific score, but it's definitely a correlation where if you can perform well on the SAT or ACT, that definitely helps your chances. And there are awards that can range from $1,000 a year, $3,000 a year. So over the course of your 4 years, it could save you several $1,000s that would work with Ohio State. Okay. In addition to that, we've focused a bit on the SAT, ACT. Coming up for a lot of juniors is the PSAT, and the PSAT is associated with the National Merit Competition. And National Merit Scholarship gives you a couple thousand if you win that. But also, there are some schools that give you full ride stipends depending on National Merit Scholarship performance. A couple standouts are University of Oklahoma, University of Alabama. They offer scholarships with that too. Okay, so nice little motivation for students to give it their best when they take it. It's kind of funny where this winter I had some students sign up for tutoring who said they want to go to Ohio State, and we were looked at their initial scores, and I said to myself, boy, I bet you can do a lot better than this. Like this first time you took this back in winter at your school, what was going on? And they said, I didn't really give it my best shot. So I didn't think it really mattered. I was applying to Ohio State, didn't think it mattered. And then they changed the requirements and then it did matter. And so they were able to give it their full effort. So if you have students, you have kids thinking about how much effort do I put forward with this? If they're not entirely sure on where they want to go, this helps keep a lot of options open for them. All right.